And joining us on the line is Professor Berry Hanyane, a political analyst and a professor with the University of the Northwest. Kebima Patswe is MKNVA chairperson. Botsang Muilwa is a political analyst, and Jackie Shandu is a political analyst. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. Let's just start with you, Kebima Patswe. In terms of how the situation is now even precipitated to where it is now, the inaction from the police or not even being clear as to how they should handle the matter. And more primarily, what do you make of AfriForum now getting involved?
Look, the AfriForum getting involved, we have been saying it before. I mean, when he left the NPA, Kharinel, that there is something behind that. They would want to open a private, it's not private investigation.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are beginning to see it coming with Kharinel. It's not innocent that they're just helping the family with the advice, but they want to test this thing of private prosecution with this case. This case is in the hands of the police, and the police are handling it properly, and also the Department of International Relations is handling this matter properly. I don't know why people should make noise. There are many people who have been assaulted. Africans have been assaulted, and I'm not trying to sound racial, but there are many people who have been assaulted, and these cases have never received such an amount of publicity. We hope when ordinary women are being abused and assaulted, it will get the same publicity.
Yeah, but you don't think that AfriForum had an opportunity based on the inaction initially, or not even understanding where the suspect was, a whole lot of confusion in how they handled the allegations against the First Lady, Grace Mugabe, that they jumped for, to try and salvage the situation, as it were?
Look, they're not salvaging the situation in the AfriForum. The AfriForum, it's an organization that is intending in the future to open this private prosecution. And they are beginning with this one, playing with the sentiments of the people, that they are assisting people as if our government has not been able to handle this matter. Grace Mugabe is here in South Africa. He has never ran away from South Africa. He is cooperating with the police. Why there is this too much noise? In the manner that she has behaved, all of us were saying it is wrong to beat people, So, but it is in the hands of the police, and the Minister of Police is handling that thing. The DECO is handling that matter correctly. So let us leave that thing in the hands of the police. I don't know what is AfriForum going to do when this thing is handled properly by the police.
All right, Professor Berry Hanyane, good evening to you and thanks for joining us. Is this just a simple case of a vote of no confidence in the police, or do you think there's more to the involvement of Advocate Kharinel and AfriForum in this matter?
Good evening, Cindy. Good evening to some of your panelists there. Look, allow me to disagree with the position taken by Mr. Mapatse on a number of reasons. One, we have here a victim who is a South African national. Yes, we still have to hear her side of the story full. Much the same should be equated to the Zimbabwean First Lady. But you have here a victim in the meantime, who has not received trauma counseling, who has not been given some legal advice or support whatsoever. We have not assessed the degree of support from SAPS at the time when we've heard stories in the media that the Zimbabwean First Lady is not in the country, the next moment is in the country. A lot of uncertainty was built behind this case. So I don't find it difficult for AfriForum to take a step and say there are kinds of services that they are willing to give support to the victim. which should have been done by our very own government from the first whistle, if you want to call it that way, so that you don't create gaps in between wherein the victim feels victimized further by the system that is established and designed to provide, protect, and ensure that human rights in this country.
All right, let's get a view from Botangwela. Please stay on the line, and Jackie Shandu.
Well, even in Cindy and the panelists and the viewers, one, we should not run into assumptions when we don't have facts. I listened on radio 2 days ago, the police spokesperson, full interview with a police spokesperson who elaborated what they have done from the moment the matter was reported up to and including on Tuesday evening. And I'm saying to you, the police have come out clear. I'm talking about official statements, not media speculations that the Zimbabwean First Lady is here or not. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about official position. And I think so far, Cindy, the government of the Republic of South Africa has done very well and properly in handling this matter. The support and the ear they gave to the victim. We should also state that we do not condone any violence by anybody. However, if people are pushing the police to run and do things in a manner without following procedures, the case may collapse. The victim may actually lose this case, and the state may fail the victim. Let us let the police do their own course and do this. But also, if AfriForum is going to offer and render services like in this instance, there's nothing wrong with it. They can do it. It's questionable why it's AfriForum and why in this instance. But if they are going to try and use this case to score political points as well as to try and test their so-called or the intended private prosecution, it is not going to work. And I will tell you why. It is not going to work because that is the moment the First Lady of Zimbabwe will kick in her diplomatic immunity, which will require the Republic of South Africa or the government of South Africa to protect her and to recognize her diplomatic immunity. This is state-to-state issue. Mrs. Mugabe is a citizen of Zimbabwe. She's a head of state, but she's also entitled to fair legal and justice processes that we have in South Africa, taking into consideration that even up to now, she has never stood up and raised her hand and said, but I'm carrying a diplomatic passport, I'm the First Lady, and therefore I'm exempted to prosecution.
Yeah, but it doesn't give her a license to violate other people's rights, and especially citizens. There is the supremacy of our law as well.
That's why I said, in my statement, we do not condone violence, and I don't think the police or the government of South Africa has given her a ticket to say she can assault or be violent towards other people. That's one element that we should, but we should also be careful not to break human rights laws of her. She's also, even if she is a culprit or a suspect.
I just want to, let's just go back with AfriForum. You're saying that the police have done everything according to the book, covered all aspects and investigations. That being said, AfriForum's role, is that more an oversight, almost like a watchdog to ensure that this case is treated fairly, regardless of the status of the accused?
Where was AfriForum in the KFC assault? When a group of white supremacists attacked a black couple unprovoked? Where was AfriForum a few days after that, a boss of Ocean Basket beating up a black man? Where was AfriForum? You had a high-profile case with Deputy Minister here beating up a woman in some nightclub. The fact that these white supremacists, these neo-Nazis and KKKs are allowed to abuse these very same institutions built by this dispensation, which they fought to not even come into existence. These are the same people that fought with everything they had to ensure that apartheid did not collapse. Where are they in the Ahmed Timur case that is ongoing? These are people who are using this to try and settle their scores with Mugabe, because President Mugabe did what we want to happen in South Africa, that the white settler minority must surrender our land unconditionally and without any payment. They are aggrieved with Mugabe and the ZANU-PF because Mugabe rightfully took the land from the white thieves and gave it to the people of Zimbabwe. So let us not lose the centrality of the political dimension in this case. from the perspective of the involvement of the AfriForum.
Yeah, you think they're serving their own interests, obviously, more to it?
They are. I think AfriForum is serving their own interests. And it is said that the victim in this case is a black woman, a young black woman. You know, Cindy, I was saying earlier on, I wish black people could rise and realize that racism is alive in this continent. If somebody can mediate without interfering with the law, AfriForum is trying to mediate for their own interest. Let black people rise and mediate in this. Let somebody stand up and call Mama Grace Machel and the family of this woman without interrupting the law, without interrupting the judicial and the justice process. We should be able to stand up and say, can we put these parties together? It's wrong to assault people, and the people of the country must not think we are sitting here and we are defending Grace Mugabe, or we are saying the woman is not a victim, she should not be protected by the justice system. But what we are saying is, if racist organizations that we know that they exist for racism and to entrench white supremacy stands up out of the blue and try to defend a black person, that should be questionable. We are talking about the political spectrum of the whole thing. We cannot trust AfriForum, which is a very racist organization, existing to entrench white supremacy and racism, and to go and say, now we are a balanced organization. We want to defend a black woman. We want to make sure that she's receiving justice. They cannot come and question the justice system of this country, which is based on the foreign settler white laws that they formulated. Harry Nell himself is part of this whole judicial system that we are sitting with in the country. He has been saying it until a few months ago, and he wants to sit down now and say
we'll get a right
the
to
justice
reply
system
from
is not
AfriForum,
just.
but just let's get a view from you, Professor Berehanyane, with regards to the selective approach, or rather cases that AfriForum has been involved in, and why particularly now, in your view?
Cindy, I suppose, according to media, once again, this is the third case that they're putting in the spotlight. In relation to the first two cases, which they're still busy building, we don't know what the focus will be. And I suppose in this instance, it's important for us at some stage to be careful in terms of assessing this issue purely from a political standpoint. Here is an issue that affects issues of social justice, and indeed, these issues must be tackled. If there's a room for AfriForum to do so, give them the space to do so, in the name of ensuring that indeed human rights in this country are maintained and protected. I see nothing wrong in that.
All right, let's get Mr. Kebima Patswe, your reaction to AfriForum also having the right and opportunity and goodwill to extend a helping hand to the victim in this case.
There's no goodwill from AfriForum. AfriForum is an organization that is formed to defend the interest of the whites. So what they are doing now is just political opportunism, that they want to appear as if they are there for the people. They are not there for the people. The person there, your guest there, just gave an example. There are so many incidences that happened, and the AfriForum was nowhere. So it is just trying to flex its muscle now to say, we are here to help you people. So in the future, come to us as AfriForum. So this is just a beginning of an AfriForum that we'll see coming up with this private prosecution. Watch the space. It's nothing else. We don't condone abuse or beating of children here in South Africa. We condemn it. But the police are handling this matter correctly. As the minister have said, no one knows from our side what is the story of Ms. Grace Mugabe, the story of the girl. It's been in the newspapers. So let us allow the police to do their work, and let us not make noise on something that we don't have facts on.
Yeah, all right. So we're joined by Andile Mqitama, the president of the Black First Land First. Andile, good to have you. It's been a while. And I mean, you find yourself in your own quagmire. We're not going to go there. But in this Grace Mugabe incident and the relationship, or rather the role of AfriForum saying, you know, if the NPA does not act, they'll kick in they have 3 months, etc. What do you make of it?
No, there's no quagmire at all on my life or political activity. We're at war with white monopoly capital. And it is clear that white monopoly capital has captured the media, has captured the courts, and with AfriForum, a racist, anti-black organization, which Black First, Land First has said must be outlawed. We come from 350 years of systematic racism, where black people have been oppressed, have been enslaved, our land has been taken. AfriForum stands exactly for that, which has oppressed black people for 350 years. We are the only people on earth who will allow our oppressors to organize themselves and then to use our courts to perpetuate racism. This matter of Mama Grace Mugabe has been turned into, of course, white people are very angry with Zimbabwe. They are very angry with President Mugabe because President Mugabe has returned the land which was stolen. AfriForum in South Africa stands for land theft and thieves. They are now manipulating a situation which we black people can handle. We have mechanisms to handle conflicts amongst ourselves, and this is a matter of family to family. It's got nothing to do with the police or the racist courts or even actually our government. It must be the Mugabe family.
Yeah, but the police didn't show that kind of confidence that they were organized. The whereabouts of the suspect wasn't known, whether she was still in the country or had fled. I don't know. And I mean, by 4 p.m., the minister had made an announcement, or rather in the morning, that she had handed herself over to the police. And of course, subsequently to that, we learned that it's not true. So what is wrong then with AfriForum, which some may regard as a civil rights organization in stepping in?
But Cindy, what rights? What I have said, let us not rely on media speculations. Let us look at the official statements of the police, and that's what we should rely on. And earlier, before Andile joined us, I raised a matter of conciliation between the two families. Andile is correct. There is nothing that we lack as African black people that we cannot solve our problems. The system exists in the country. Jackie has referred to a number of cases whereby they happen now, as recent as 4 or 5 days ago. And we have led the police to handle these matters. We must rise as a nation and give this victim, this lady, full support of what happened. But we should also rise and defend the black majority people of this country against political opportunity and racism of organizations like AfriForum. That we should not allow it to happen. I don't know why people are saying the government has failed, the government has not treated this lady, has not given her a fair opportunity. When this lady or her family hasn't come out until today and said the police did not treat them well, they haven't said the police ignored them, they didn't treat them well, they didn't give them the opportunity they deserve. So why do the media and the racist white people and organizations, we allow them to stand up and say, but this case will not receive fair treatment when we have not tested?
Well, if the victim might have felt that there is obviously an imbalance of power considering the stature of the First Lady, and here comes AfriForum, they're willing to assist. What is wrong with that?
Why AfriForum?
We are always...
Why not AfriForum?
We are always patient, Cindy. You had a case not so long ago in the Northwest where these settlers take our people and put them in coffins alive. We've had legal processes, we've had to wait, we're very angry as black people. We wanted to go there ourselves and see to it that justice is served. But we have not had this kind of brouhaha from certain institutions. Where was the moral outrage and the sense of urgency then? It has not even been a week. And we are saying, let us allow these legal security investigative processes, to run their course. And yet, already there is a narrative. And it's from the very same white media that is owned and controlled by white supremacists that wants to spin this thing to say there is a failure on the part of the police.
Professor Hanyani, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Why shouldn't there be a question or suspicion in the actions of AfriForum? It cannot be just benign or acting out of good faith. What is your view?
Cindy, my take is that AfriForum established the private prosecutions unit to deal with these issues. The discussion is theirs. Who are we to tell them that this is not their space to operate in a free democratic country like ours, based on political considerations of race and past history? That for me is a bit of a problem. And if they have the means, and which they do, by the way, surely they will occupy and exploit whatever space is available. My take is that this government made that space available to them, and they're occupying it as we speak right now.
Okay. We also Invited AfriForum, so we're waiting for a response from these questions. Just very briefly.
Okay, Cindy, I wanted to respond to who are we to stand up, and I'm disappointed that it comes from Professor Hanyan. We are black people. We are rising after 350 years of oppression, discrimination, apartheid to say we cannot wait any longer for white people to make decisions on our behalf. That's who we are. We are rising as a black nation to say there's an issue at hand which involves black people. Can white people step aside and allow us to handle our issues in a black way, in a black manner? We are equipped to can do that. That's who we are. We cannot say we must just be silent as if we are still under apartheid regime, whereby white people made decisions for black people that you will live in a TBVC state, you will live in a homeland, you will eat this way, you will walk on this street. We cannot allow that anymore. We can rise today in the so-called democracy that is referring to say we are questioning this organization. Yes, the government allowed it to happen, to formulate, but it does not mean we cannot question their conduct and their intentions. We can question, and that's what we are doing. We are questioning them.
Let's get a view from Monique Tout, designation, or rather, she is the head of Anti-Corruption Unit at AfriForum. Thank you so much, Monique. I hope I pronounce your name properly. There's an issue around AfriForum possibly exploiting and manipulating this particular case for political expediency or posturing. What's your view? Hi, Monique.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Any response to the question around why particularly did AfriForum get involved in this case where you have been conspicuous in your absence in other matters pertaining to black people?
I don't think that is the case at all. This specific case that we're looking at, we decided to take on this case because we want equality before the law. And as the other person just said that it is a political game or whatever, that's not the case at all. AfriForum wants equality before the law. That's why we decided to open a private prosecution unit. And we, if the police and the National Prosecuting Authority do what they have to do, then we do not have a role. So if they do what they have to do, then it's awesome.
All right.
But if
you were to test your systems, if you were to test whether this unit is effective, there are many other opportunities that were missed. We spoke about the KFC incident and let alone the Spur incident and the coffin case. Why is it that you trusted the process, or rather the legal process, to naturally fulfill its cause, and this particular one, you hopped onto the opportunity?
In this case, well, if you look at the coffin case and the KFC case, AfriForum was clear from the start that we condemn all forms of racism, and we also spoke out on that instances. If we look at this case, we decided to get involved because Mrs. Grace Mugabe thinks she's above the law. So that's why we believe that there should be equality before the law, and that's why we decided to take this case. If you look at other cases, the people had their day in court, and that is how it should be.
Okay, so you issued a statement, to condemn other incidents of racism. I get that. Just hold on, please. Andila, your view and,
But you see, it's unfortunate. We black people in this country don't take ourselves seriously. Now we are entering into a conversation with a racist organization, which, if it was serious, the first thing they think about equality would be to return our land. The land is the determination of what can be equal. We are landless in our own country. They have our land. And she talks about equality before the law. How can we be equal, the landless and the landed? And those who stole our land still have it. They've not even asked for an apology. We say there is no sense of honesty from them. We cannot expect honesty from AfriForum. AfriForum should be banned, should not be allowed in this country to operate. You can't have, unless we say racism is normal, it's acceptable to have a white supremacist organization such as AfriForum. Now, they talk about equality before the law. Helen Zille came out and said colonialism is not bad. Colonialism is a process of mass murder, land theft. They said nothing about it. They did not take it to court. Helen Zille is still the premier of...
we're going to have to close very briefly, Monique. We're out of time. Your response?
Firstly, all the stuff that he says that AfriForum is a racist organization, please show me where we are a racist organization. If you want to talk about land, there is the Restitution of Land Act, and the goal of that act is to offer a solution to people who had lost land as a result of racially discriminatory practices. And the fact is that less than 1% of black people have instituted land claims. So, but the thing is, I'm not here to talk about the land issue. I'm here to talk about the issue of Grace Mugabe. And AfriForum decided, as I've said, to take on this case. And if the National Prosecuting Authority decides not to prosecute, we will see if we can do a private prosecution in this case to ensure equality before the law.
Monique Tout is the legal advisor with the AfriForum and joining us on the line. We have Butsang Moilwa, Jackie Shandu and Andile Mqitama, Professor Barry Hanyane joining us on the line. He's a professor with the University of the Northwest. Kebi Mapatswe is the chair of the MKNVA. Thanks to you at home for watching. We're back after this.